You've tuned in to Speedrunners, where the fastest gamers in the world meet our challenge of setting new world records. Or in the case of our guest today, improving his own. I mean, it's not really bragging when we say that we have a true speedrunning god next to me, really, to be honest.
Guess I could say that.
Yeah.
My proudest moment in Mario 64 is probably when I first beat the world record.
Oh my god, dude! I'm a legend!
And it felt marvelous. It felt amazing for like a month. I want to keep getting in and see what the limits are for Mario 64.
Getting told to get off your console or get away from the computer, then this is the place to be. This is Speedrunners, and here you will see how fast you can actually race through some of the most classic games of all time. You'll learn tips and tricks from the best in the world, and you'll see ways to beat a game that you probably didn't even think were possible. We set up base here in the heart of Scandinavia and booked tickets to Copenhagen, Denmark for the elite in the speedrunning community. So on each show, we will get a visit from the best of the best, and we'll challenge them to set a new world record in their own category. It's a thrilling and really fast experience, so strap in your seatbelt and let's go. Today, we're joined by Alan, who owns several records in Super Mario 64, so who better to finally set a new record in our studios here. As always, we will go through the best highlights from your own gaming run. And to be honest, I can't really wait any longer. So how about we dive on in to your first highlight of the day?
Okay, so what I'm doing here right now is I'm going to clip through the pillar by the staircase and do a normal long jump. And then I'll hold back and mash the A button really fast and get a lot of speed like that, and then clip through the doors and the walls and then get right into the stage.
And with that, you've saved time and skipped right to the level where you face your first boss of the game. So you say that one was essential to a speed run, and why is that then?
Okay, so that trick is called a lobby backwards long jump, or backwards long jump in general, right? A BLJ. And it's one of the essential tricks in Mario 64 because it basically makes you skip really big parts of the game and makes you be able to beat the game much faster.
Yeah, which is always good, being able to beat a game faster. Does the game not go any faster if you miss a trick like that? I mean, is that just one of the crucial moments of your speedrun?
Well, you always get to try again, but I mean, because, you know, the categories are so optimized now, usually if you miss a trick like that, hit the reset button and go again.
And that happens a lot in speedrunning, actually. Just reset, reset. Gets a little bit repetitive. At 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the game, Alan has received his first star and is headed into his first boss battle. I mean, what is the best way then to kind of practice a trick like this?
Well, a trick like this basically is just, it's all about mashing the A button over and over again. And once you get that feel for it, then it becomes easier and easier. It's like muscle memory.
Muscle memory is just shown to be a massive thing, actually, in speedrunners. Now, you are off to a pretty fast start, and to be honest, fast should probably be your middle name by this point with all the records that you have. But even though you are a speed demon in the game, you still actually had the time to sit down and introduce yourself to our viewers.
I've been speedrunning for almost 3 years now. In 2014, I was watching Puncation, and he was trying to beat the world record. And after watching him, I thought, you know what, let me just try it. It looks like fun. And I did. And once I did, it was just, you know, I just got hooked. Ever since I was a child, I love playing video games. I've probably put in more than 5,000 hours into Super Mario 64, for sure. My proudest moment in Mario 64 is probably when I first beat the world record. It was like the first time I really felt that, oh my gosh, I have a world record. How do I react? What do I do? I realized, okay, this is big, and I started making money, and then it just became my job, really. Everyone knows my name in the speedrunning community. I love competition. It makes it more exciting. It makes the motivation stronger. I'm probably put in about an average of 5 hours every day playing. It's like a sport. You need experience. You need to put in the years of training, practice, or else you can't be good at it.
Now, we have seen the worlds, we've learned the expressions, and we've gotten to know our Spanish superstar, so there's nothing else to do really but get into the gameplay. And we'll do exactly that after this break. Today, we'll once again meet up with a certain Italian superhero in overalls and a striking mustache that I could only dream of. It's, of course, Super Mario, and this time the game is Super Mario 64.
It's me, Mario. Hello.
Super Mario 64 was one of only 2 games available when the Nintendo 64 launched in 1996. For the first time, players were able to control their beloved Italian plumber in 3 dimensions, as he once again had to rescue Princess Toadstool from the evil Bowser who had invaded her castle.
Hey, Mario. Please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you.
Mario soon discovers that Bowser has imprisoned the princess using the power of the castle's 120 power stars, and he must now explore the castle for portals to enter other worlds and recover the stars, some of which only appear after completing certain challenges, such as defeating a boss, racing an opponent, or gathering coins. As Mario recovers more power stars, he gains access to more rooms and eventually goes through 3 different obstacle courses, each leading to its own battle with Bowser. For a game this deep and complex, it's amazing that speedrunners can take something that normally took 14 hours and finish it in an hour and a half. So, Alan, the record we're focusing on today is in the category called 120 stars. Stars, pretty simple, I think I get it, but talk me through it regardless.
Well, yeah, it's pretty simple. Basically, you have to collect all the stars in the game, which are 120. And you can do it any way, shape, or form, using glitches, tricks, exploits, however you need to. Once you just collect 120 stars, you're good to go.
Yeah, and some of the other versions, of course, some of the other categories change the amount of stars you have to collect. For
yeah, and also certain things aren't allowed in other categories. For example, the 70-star category, which I have the other world record in, BLJs aren't allowed.
Ah.
So it's a bit different, but a bit more fast-paced as well.
Look at you having 2 world records, even without BLJs. What other expressions then, when we get into your run a little bit further, do we need to know about? I mean, there's a lot of movement that's based in this game too.
Yeah, movement is basically the whole speed factor in the game. I mean, the point of this game is to go fast, and optimization of movement is definitely the important factor. That's how you get good at the game, for starters.
I mean, movement's important in every game, but specifically, I think Mario 64, because you can just see how quick everything is, and the fact you can complete it in about an hour and a half still amazes me. Let's actually look at how you split up your times then throughout Super Mario 64, because there's, 20 splits, 15 worlds, but there's particularly 5 really important splits. I mean, which would you say is the most important about these 5 that we have on screen?
The most important about this 5 is definitely this one.
Okay, and why is the lobby backwards long jump so important then?
Well, it's not only the lobby backwards long jump, it's the whole idea of backwards long jump. Because there's also another one later on in the game. But the whole reason for it is because without backwards long jump, there would have been so many tricks that wouldn't have been found. And because of backwards long jumps in general, it just really pushed the game for the time to be so low in the categories.
It's amazing to see how these speedruns develop and how they can just change with just one slight glitch, or one big glitch in this case. And we'll see whether you'll be able to perform these LBJs successfully throughout the day. Now, we have seen the worlds, we've learned the expressions, and we've gotten to know our Spanish superstar. So there's nothing else to do really but get into the gameplay. And we'll do exactly that after this break. to ESL Speedrunners. Classic games, crazy fast. Our contestant Alan is a little over an hour into his world record attempt at Super Mario 64. He's already collected 77 of the 120 stars needed to complete this world record attempt.
Alright, pretty much from here on out, all the way to the end of the game, starts getting really hard.
You've tuned into Speedrunners, where the fastest gamers in the world meet our challenges of setting new world records. Or in the case of our guest today, improving his own world record. Alan will actually do everything he can to improve on his 1 hour, 36 minutes and 28 seconds time in Super Mario 64, the 120 stars category. And he'll also teach us a trick or two along the way. So let's watch the next highlight.
Okay, this next trick is really famous. It's called Cannonless. Basically what happens here is that you have to use a cannon to blast away the wall to grab the star through the wall. But if you do this really cool setup right here on the plank, with a few movements, you can fall right on the perfect spot and grab the star through the wall like that.
The trick we just watched is a very well-known one throughout Super Mario 64, but is it one of the easier tricks to do?
It used to be really difficult because it basically used to be like you go on the plank and you fall off and you hope that you fall on the right spot. But in October 2014, a guy by the name of Sockfolder found a setup basically where you do a certain amount of inputs and you do a backflip and whatever, and you could fall on the right spot every time.
Next clip then that we've got is actually bomb clipping, so let's dive into that one and see how you got on.
Let's go. Okay, this is another really famous trick called bomb clipping. Basically when you grab a bomb, throw it, and then re-grab it just in time, you get this speed going backwards and you're able to clip through walls and gates. And this is another example here when you do the same thing, and it's a lot more complicated, where you jump over the hill, you grab the bomb, you do jumps, and you get up to the pyramid, and you're able to clip through the pyramid and get right to the star. It's a really, 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 really handy trick.
How much do you need to practice then to nail a glitch like that one?
I mean, it depends on the glitch, of course, but the second one that you just saw in Shifting Sandland, that's arguably one of the hardest tricks in the game.
Oh, wow.
It takes, well, first you need to have about months of experience of the game itself to know how it works, to how to move Mario, and then you have to start understanding the trick and how to do it, and then you have to put in the hours. So you have to practice hours and hours over and over.
So I couldn't just pick it up today and you could be like, hey, this is what you do, these are the buttons you press.
Impossible.
At least I tried. What do your friends think then when you are kind of stuck at home and practicing these glitches over and over again? Because I know I get a bad press from my parents for playing video games, and you're like one of the best speedrunners in the world, so you must have a lot of comments about that.
I guess it's the same way where a swimmer swims laps up and down over and over again to get more endurance, to get more fitness. Same exact thing applies for video gaming, I think. When you practice one trick over and over again to get that endurance, to get that muscle memory. I mean, people are not used to it because it's kind of a new community, but I think in a few years' time it won't be nerd anymore, it'll be cool. You know?
We're starting to get there. We're starting to be cool people nowadays, Alan. I think we'll get there one day. And Super Mario 64 is actually evolving just like us. We're going from nerds to actually cool people. And right now, the battle is really intense for first place. And the time gets lower and lower almost every month. Let's actually take a look at the history of the world record. The history of speedrunning Super Mario 64 goes all the way back to 2004, with these early runs by Spider-Man 88mil and Dragon. Even though they were over 2 hours and were filled with mistakes, it's funny to see how these runs were recorded on VCR back then. Dragon's record stood for some time until 2010, when a few Japanese runners would dominate the Super Mario 64 speedrunning stage: Bitora, Irumo, and Honey. Irumo's 1 hour, 49 minutes, 49 seconds run was especially memorable for being both the first sub 1 hour, 50-minute run and for its musical synchronization. Siglemic was the runner to break the Japanese dominance with a 1 hour and 47-minute run. Siglemic and Honey took turns holding the record for a few years, but Siglemic was by far the most popular. In August 2012, he set a challenge for himself, speedrun for 12 hours a day, 30 days in a row, and this made the record come down to an impressive 1 hour, 45 minutes and 35 seconds.
Oh, I didn't think I was going to be able to with this run. Thank you, guys.
After Siglemic got his time down to 1:43, he slowly faded away from the speedrunning scene. Taking his place was Punkation, who was able to push the time to 1 hour, 42 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
But only after some really devastating chokes.
No, dude, why?
A new glitch was found in 2015 by speedrunner Sockfolder, and that brought the time down even more. Known as Cannonless, you could get this star without shooting the wall off with the cannon. Instead, you had to make a very precise combination of jumps.
Here we go!
This glitch was used by our guest in the studio, Cheezo5, the first runner to get a sub 1 hour and 40-minute run. Leading to this touching and historic moment in speedrunning. So two former world record holders then. I say former because you are now the world record holder. Obviously a good feeling. The first guy I want to talk about, I mean, everyone has the kind of Lex Luthor to the Superman, and you have the Bowser to your Mario in your situation. Punkation, is this man like such a big rival to you? Like, do you guys get along?
We're really close friends.
And does that help then, like where you're both trying to pip each other at the top and you can keep improving times?
It used to be better before. We used to be like this all the time. He's taken a lot of breaks, I've taken a lot of breaks, we've come back. But he actually recently beat my world record on June 6th, I believe, of this month.
Yeah.
And then less than 24 hours later, I beat it again.
Do you have a lot of fans yourself? Have you ever like signed autographs, for example?
Yeah, I've signed a few controllers when people come up to me in conventions and ask for to sign a controller or something like that.
It's always a hard life when people ask you for autographs, isn't it?
It's hard, yeah.
If you wouldn't mind just signing that one.
Yeah, sure.
Great. And whilst he's doing that, we're actually chasing a time of under 1 hour and 39 minutes and 28 seconds in Super Mario 64, and we'll continue right after this.
All right, so the last stage now, before the big Bowser. This is also one of the hardest stages. It's very, very easy to die and lose a lot of time. Hopefully that won't happen.
Welcome back to Speedrunners, where we are racing through Super Mario 64 today, or actually, Alan is. I'm just here for moral support.
Last 2 minutes of the game. This is also really tough because you have to throw Bowser onto the bombs, and if you miss one, you can lose a lot of time, and it's quite tough.
As Alan continues running Mario towards the final battle with Bowser, his game mechanics are on display. There are only a handful of Mario 64 runners who could come close to matching his blistering pace. However, we can see from his splits that over the past hour and a half, he's a little behind the pace.
You kind of have to accept the fact that you're going to lose time to RNG. I would say every run in Mario 64, you would lose at least 25 to 30 seconds to RNG. You can't help it. You kind of have to just accept it. But there are many ways that you can learn backup strategies or learn how to manipulate types of RNG for it not to be that bad or damaging.
Sometimes RNG can be in your favor.
Yeah, it could be in your favor.
Right? But there must be those kind of perfect runs that you have, and then suddenly you're near the end, you think you're going to break a world record, and then RNG comes into play. Has that ever happened to you before?
Yeah, surely. But yeah, there are many points where RNG could help you out. If a coin spawns in a certain way, it could actually make you save a lot of time instead of losing time. All right, all 120 stars. Now we just have to fight Bowser. That's one. That's two. One more.
have your final time here. It was 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 3 seconds. Now, that's still the 6th best time ever set.
Right.
How satisfied are you with that run?
It's my best marathon run I've ever done, actually. I died at the end of a star in Shifting Sandland, which lost a minute. Okay, that's a bad mistake. Well, that definitely blew chances to get a world record.
So we sort of set a record then, because it's your best marathon record.
Yeah, I think it's arguably the best marathon run.
There we go.
Maybe, for 120 stars, of course. I think so. Please don't hate me if I'm wrong.
Well, at least it is a record. At least I'm happy. We've had guests from Tennessee, Canada, Denmark, from all over the world, and we're still chasing that elusive world record to be set in our studios. We're not actually going to give up until we get one, so make sure you're with us next time here on Speedrunners.